Welcome to a special edition of the Athletic NBA Show. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. With me, I've got Sam Vecini and Mo DeKeel. And this was supposed to be a very exciting podcast after a very exciting game. The entire arena was just like vibrating as Victor Wembanyama's warming up.
Yeah.
And the air was let out of the balloon so fast. It was one of the worst games I've watched. And I watched 2020 Poku, all of it. Every episode of 2020 Poku, I've watched it.
Oh, my God.
Sam, you have seen Victor Wembanyama play many times.
Yeah.
This was not what people were expecting.
No, it was not. I've never seen him like that passive, I guess. I've never really seen him play that quiet. Like, it just felt like he didn't have the kind of juice that I've seen him have before. Like, This is a guy that led a French league, team to its championship rounds.
A team that had no business going to the championship round, too. Like, he took an underdog team in that sense. And you're 100% right. Passive is the best word to describe his game tonight.
It 100% is. I mean, he goes 2 for 13 from the field. For people who, maybe want some context, didn't watch the game. 2 for 13 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. I thought his passing was actually the best part of his game outside of his rim protection tonight.
Yeah.
I think that we should actually probably note the defense was quite good. Look, he got bailed out a lot by Charlotte having maybe the worst summer league team I've ever watched in my life.
I'm not ready to go there
but
yet. There have been history of summer league teams is another podcast.
Yeah.
They're up there.
So I've watched them 3 times now, and I'm not worried about Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
I am more worried. This is a conversation I've been having with a friend on the team side. I'm more worried that they might not have another NBA player on this team.
Yeah.
When they have 7 draft picks, I believe, on this roster. James Najee looked okay tonight, I thought. Bryce McGowan's looked solid, but
Sure.
Yeah, this was a disappointment, especially after the highs. The crowd was going too because of what happened in the previous game. We had. Amen Thompson versus Scoot Henderson. Both those guys get hurt, but we get this incredible finale with Jabari Smith knocking down, a 35-footer to win.
Off of a heave pass that felt like it had no prayer.
100%.
And then it hits his hands, and it goes in. And then Tari Eason gives the Blazers the Dame wave.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Dame's getting ready to give the Blazers the Dame wave. This is perfect.
Yes, the arena, the entire place was packed.
Yeah.
All the way to the ceiling, packed with people.
Yeah.
People were on their feet to begin the game, which doesn't really happen in Summer League.
No.
And then we watched the Hornets shoot 29%, up from 19% most of the game. They have continued the tradition of finding the bricklayer in the draft with Nick Smith Jr., who was just laying bricks all night on top of James Bouknight, who had a really nice dunk in the game, but then the announcer called him James Boo Night. And it was just it felt poetic.
The vibes were bad.
The sad thing is, I never thought we were going to talk about Charlotte when I figured we were doing this podcast tonight. And it was just the Wemby was just kind of so the debut was so disappointing to a degree in terms of the hype. I actually didn't mind his first half. I know his shooting wasn't he didn't shoot it very well in the first half, but like you touched on, Sam, his rim protection, his defense was solid. He had some great passes the Spurs could not finish.
Yeah.
And his real first play was a beautiful dime in transition.
Yep.
I thought early on he forced it, his first couple of shots and things like that. I felt, when those didn't fall, you could feel it kind of going to him. He didn't let the game come to him.
Yeah.
Right? He tried to force it, and I think he got punished tonight for that. And I think that's kind of one of the main reasons why he was just so off. And then that third quarter, I don't know how to describe it. He was there, but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
That was that's what I was like, oh, it's going to be that.
Yeah, it was weird just because, again, we've seen him be so aggressive in other stops. At any time, even with Osvel last year where he was playing more of a role player role, he didn't look like this, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little bit confused. Genuinely, I'll be really interested to see what he says after the game.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm sure there will be some sort of availability that he's doing below us right now, and Thompson Mack, literally right below us. So I think it's very possible that there might just be something up and we're going to find out about it and whatever. Because it didn't look like him, I guess is my point tonight. Like we've seen him play better than this, and we've seen him play just like totally different than this previously.
He hadn't seemed like somebody that would like fold to any kind of pressure to me, just like being around him a little bit and watching him a little bit. But you just wonder, like the pressure is enormous. The expectations are enormous. And I think like most human beings would like at least like fold a little bit to those expectations.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a human factor. I don't know if it's like him being in the news the last several days, being like a human element of this. It's like you wonder that, but also like some of it was like he's dribbling in transition. He's so tall that smaller guys can just like whip around him and find the ball.
Yeah.
But it was just how sloppy he was with it,
Yeah.
And there, the plays where he's trying to spin and it didn't even feel like there were plays where it was the defense. He just lost the ball. There were times where he tried to force it, tried to attack 3 guys at once, and whatnot. And I think the other thing too that kind of made this a little bit hard for Victor, in this sense was. It's kind of a credit to the Spurs in a funny way was they just ran their offense.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to showcase him.
No.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to put him on the pedestal.
First play of the game was a screen assist
Right.
from Victor Wembanyama. Yeah.
I mean, but all of it, throughout the entire night, was, hey, we're running our offense. You'll get your stuff from there. They didn't force post-ups. They didn't force a lot of different opportunities for him in that sense. And I'd be curious to kind of see how he's going to get used to that, but that's how the Spurs are going to want to play, and I think that was an interesting thing in this game, and I think that's part of the challenge too for him in Summer League.
Yeah. Again, like I do want to say here that the Spurs did a phenomenal job defensively in this game, and held Charlotte to 29% from the field. I think that I'm looking at the numbers here. They shot 18 of 45 from 2-point range, which is like a ridiculous number, and I think that goes to show the way that Victor Wembanyama's just length and size and mobility genuinely just like changes the geometry of a basketball game.
How many blocks did he finish with?
5.
5? Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, but he altered so many more.
Yes.
Like there was an element where it was just he's so tall, guys. Like at the end of the day, he's just a big guy.
No, it is. Like it genuinely alters the geometry of a basketball court. Having somebody that big, that long out on the court, and just his presence helped them win. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he played well. He didn't. He shot 2 of 13 from the field and was a disaster on offense. But I also think on some level the Hornets did a reasonable job of like sending an early double into a driving lane, sending help toward him, shading guys toward his side of the court when they tried to get him in empty actions. Like I think that, look, we don't want to give too much credit to the Hornets here. They were a mess in so many regards tonight. But
29, 15, 65 shooting splits.
Well,
I love those numbers.
sometimes you got to get to 90. That's the goal, right? Not 180. We want to be 90 shooters, right? No, look, like I think that they did a good job making it harder for Vic, but Vic, had an air ball tonight on a 3.
Yeah.
And, it just didn't look like him on offense.
We all also got to just chill. Like I know we're disappointed with what we were hoping we were going to get tonight, right?
Yeah.
We almost thought we were getting like a coronation of some sort for at least the summer.
Sure.
Right? And I think it's just also a matter of like, all right, it didn't work out that way. Doesn't mean he's a bust. Like I know there's going to be the segment of the population that
Folks,
wants to go there.
Is Victor Wembanyama bad at basketball?
Yes. Done.
Folks,
Done.
can Victor Wembanyama overcome the disappointment of a bad Summer League debut?
Yeah. I mean,
No.
we're going to get that, and I think that's just my thing is just like everybody relax. Like
I mean, people start, he's too skinny. Maybe, is he too tall?
Yeah.
We're going to start hearing that, which I agree.
Pump
It's
the brakes.
one game.
It's a Summer
one
League game.
game.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes.
And there's so much more information that we have that says, like, yes, he's very good.
Correct.
So we should chill on that. Also, I think if they just played an opponent that had a little bit more juice, and it might have been a more fun game.
So are you saying that Sunday, when Scoot versus Wemby, we might get a little bit more?
Well, Scoot's not going to play, I assume.
I don't know what the shoulder injury looks like, to be honest.
I hope he does. Even
Yeah.
without that, I mean, Shaden Sharp was really fun tonight.
Until he shot them out of the game.
but he was more fun than the entire Hornets roster combined.
Shaden Sharp is good at basketball on some level.
No,
so that helps.
He's very good at basketball. Can't compare him to Charlotte. Charlotte's bad. He's literally called it the worst summer league team we've ever had. And you're going to be
it's a bad summer league team.
I'm just saying that I would have liked to have another team that had some juice on the other side. That's all.
But that's a fair point, too, in that regard. And I think, hey, man, but that's part of it, too, is there are going to be nights in the NBA.
Yeah.
You're going to be playing a team that doesn't have juice. Are you going to bring it, or do you play to your level of competition? I don't think that's the case with Victor. I think the moment got to him, to be honest with you. And I think he put too much on himself.
I don't know. It's hard. It's possible, but again, that's why I want to hear what he says after the game more than anything. I'm just genuinely curious to hear what his opinion on his last 24 hours has looked like. He almost had an international incident because Britney Spears tried to go up and tap him on the shoulder. I mean,
I was shocked she could reach the shoulder.
Yeah, I mean,
I just can't even believe those sentences are real.
It's an NBA Mad Lib. What happened here?
What is going on here? My wife was reading me the story in the car, and I'm like, wait, what? That can't be real.
Yeah.
Is that Chat GPT? What's going on here?
It might be. We might be living a simulation.
I mean, it feels like
I was watching The Matrix on my flight here, so
hey,
maybe
there you go.
Let's talk a little bit about that Blazers-Rockets game, which was very exciting, very fun, that featured lots of really good young players. Jabari Smith Jr. in the second half was just an absolute monster. He finished with 33, 7 and 2, 3 of 8 from 3, 8 of 18 overall, 14 of 17 from the free throw line, and had the game-winning 3. We mentioned it earlier. It felt impossible. It just didn't feel like it was going to happen, and then it did, and the crowd just erupts.
Yeah. Can we talk about the play that led to this game-winning 3?
We can.
Just, Portland has the ball. They're up 2. They break the full-court press, and they throw a terrible lob. Not even it was a wide-open lob, which I would probably be supportive of if it was a wide-open lob, but it was like a lob in traffic.
It was very summer league.
All the way.
Yeah.
And I also thought that the Rockets blew it because they get the rebound or the turnover, and before they call a timeout, they take a dribble, which means they can advance the ball. On top of that, and I'm just 0.6 seconds. You guys, good luck. And then it was Tari Eason the inbounder?
Mo is so offended right now by what just happened here.
Oh, Summer League's tough for me. Summer League is very difficult for me just on that point alone of it is bad basketball a lot of the time.
This game was not bad, though.
This game was fun. This game was a lot of fun.
Was one of the most fun Summer League games.
It was chaotic. It was fun. So many dunks. It was really fun.
But it was Tari Eason inbounding, right? Was it?
I believe it was. That sounds right.
I'm telling you, and I should know because it was right in front of me. But I'm telling you, it literally looks like he's almost 5-second count. Here's a bomb. He just threw a hook and just, hey.
Honestly, I was kind of trying to figure out if that was planned. I kind of think it might have been because you saw, Jabari kind of ran off of an action a little bit there. And I kind of thought that he was trying to fake it and then threw that hook pass purposefully maybe. Maybe I'm giving it too much credit.
I don't know.
I think you're giving it a little too much credit. But if it was planned, damn, that's unbelievable.
No, yeah, that's it.
But I thought Portland actually did a good job defending the inbounder, making it hard. And then Jabari just hits an unbelievable shot.
So good.
This is the Jabari Smith in the second half today. I didn't think he was very good in the first half.
Oh, I thought he was awful.
Yes.
I was worried.
Yeah.
Straight up bad, yeah.
And you saw in the second half the perfectly idealized version of what people thought Jabari Smith was going to be coming into the draft last year, this 6'10" shot maker. And what I really loved about it was the way that Houston got him in spots that are advantageous for him.
Yeah.
They got him elbow touches where he can just elevate and shoot over the top with that high release point. They got him the ball in the wing where he's able to just shoot over the top from 3, knock down shots off the catch. They ran stuff for him. Last year there was obviously that story that caused an uproar in, I think it was ESPN if I remember correctly, talking about how Jabari Smith did not have plays run for him last year by Steven Silas.
Yep.
And it was good to see them run plays for him. Mm-hmm. I think that was actually the key of what made this work today.
I mean, he needs plays run for him, but it wasn't just him, though. I thought Cam Whitmore was good in this game. Yep. I thought Tari Eason was very good. I thought I was kind of just watching this Rockets team. I go this might be the Summer League champs.
If I were a Rockets fan, I would have two feelings. One, feeling really good about these young guys. feeling number 2. Why are we paying Dylan Brooks $20 million to come on to this team with these guys and to take shots from those guys?
Look, I'm with it, but like
you're almost more stressed than me watching a summer league game.
It's kind of maddening to me because you have these guys that are ready to take a little bit more and probably need more developmental time. They need more shots. They need more opportunities.
And this is the thing with I didn't like the Dylan Brooks signing. If you listen to my podcast, I think that people understand that I'm not a huge fan of that signing.
Yeah.
But I think that the reason I didn't love it more than anything else is that Tari Eason is good.
Yeah.
Like Tari Eason is just genuinely good.
Yeah.
And I think that if he continues to showcase that improvement off the catch that we saw today, where he was just comfortable and confident, being willing to fire that thing.
Yep.
Like he was ready. He was ready to go. And if he's willing to do that, I think it's a big piece of them having depth at the end of the day now because of Dylan Brooks. But
sure.
I felt like he could have just slid into the role they want Dylan Brooks to play this year. And like Tari Eason's good at basketball.
We should talk about the players though, because Scoot was so good.
Yeah, he was.
Scoot was
He's
so
unbelievable.
good.
He's unbelievable.
I'm watching him going like, oh God, he's already got the feel. Like it's over. Like I was just like, I was like, Portland, just trade Dame for a bag of potato chips. Just give all the minutes. To Scoot at this point. Like he is ready to roll. Him with Sharp, Simon's coming off the bench. Like you don't even need to worry at this point. Like just move Dame, make the action happen, get it to Scoot, and let it go because he will deliver. I was very impressed with him in the first half.
Yeah, his pace, the way that he controls the game on both ends, I think he's ready to go, and I agree. I mean, this is a blessing for the Blazers.
Yep.
They basically have, like, stealth tanked to getting 2 good players.
It was a stealth. Portland Trail Blazers were terrible to watch for the second half of the season for 2 years in a row.
But you know what I mean? Like, they didn't tear apart their roster.
Yeah.
And they now have this opportunity to where I think all they need to get back is picks. Like, they don't need to go get a young player in this deal. Like, if you could just bleed somebody dry of all their picks and get back expiring. It's like you have the young players on your roster right now to develop.
Yeah, I would still like to get players.
I just don't think the picks are there anymore. I don't think teams are going to give up.
That may be true. That like the 5 picks and like 3 swaps might be done.
I mean, people are like, "Oh, Rudy Gobert." Nobody else wants to make the Rudy Gobert trade. Like honestly, like that's the stuff.
If you could get the Nets to bite.
Here's my thing, and this is why I don't think Dame makes the Nets a championship team.
I don't care.
You don't. But I don't. But I think that's also the Nets thinking.
Maybe. I'm just saying if they did want Dame, and you just ask for picks.
Yeah, they can get it. Same for Utah. Utah can give them a whole ton of picks.
Yeah, but like, why are we doing this if you're those teams? Truly,
that's
like
my
why?
point.
Like that's the
I
thing.
don't know.
Like you just, if you're Utah, you have all these picks, you have interesting young players. Like Damian Lillard's probably not going to be ecstatic about going there, given all the reporting that is coming from Chris Haynes. So I think that you just kind of have to figure out a way to make it work with Miami and a third team at the end of the day.
Yeah, probably.
That's the most likely outcome to me. But I would keep trying, with other teams.
Even if you lose this trade, you're fine because you already got the guys. Because normally the way this works out for teams, right? When we have to trade our star player, we're going to be awful next year.
Well, this is what's happening with the Wizards, sort of. The Wizards did sign Kyle Kuzma, but obviously they look like a team that probably wins under 25 games next year.
Yeah.
But now, for them, they already have their young star prospect in Scoot.
Yeah.
They already have it in Shaedon Sharp. Simons is already a guy. In my opinion, they're almost ahead of the rebuild in that sense. And they have those guys. So, that's really the story with them. But we also got to talk a little bit about how the fact that both Thompson and Henderson left the game with injuries.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
That part sucked.
That sucked. Both of them are awesome.
Thompson was great. We didn't talk about him.
Thompson looked awesome.
He looked awesome. He did everything that you would want him to. Like, he was awesome as a passer. He made incredible passing reads all across the court on drop-offs, little dump-offs. He hit a cross-corner kick that was absolutely filthy.
Right. Yep.
Like, he was really, really good. I thought he was
3.
great tonight. He made a 3 from the top of the key, then sprained his ankle and went out. Scoot, like you guys said, like the way he dictated the game, that's the thing that I've loved about him from the jump and why I think he's I didn't understand all the hand wringing about like, is he a great passer? Like, can he do this? Can he do that? He just knows how to play. Like, he knows how to dictate the tempo. He knows how to like get through any sort of advanced action in ball screens. Like, he'll take a step up. Like, he knows how to maneuver his body in a very high level. He's built like a linebacker or a running back.
Yep.
When he tucks the ball, like to get to the basket in order to protect it, he literally looks like a running back or a linebacker out there with the way that he can just put force on the basket and force on the paint. So I think he was spectacular tonight.
Yeah.
Like, answered every question I hope that people had outside of maybe the shooting. Like, I guess that he got a little bit cold there near the end, and I think he ended up 5 for 13. But like, Scoot's awesome.
I know you said Brandon Miller will be fine, but if I'm a Charlotte fan, I'm very annoyed now.
It's
like
Michael Jordan's parting gift.
Yeah,
to
I'm more
Charlotte
just like
fans.
he's gonna be fine. That dude's gonna be good.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the
Bassini's over here like, yeah.
I've been saying.
I mean, I
don't mean to be rude. Like, I've been here on this block for like months.
I will never understand why Scoot went third and not 2. And I get it, the whole matching of skills and all of whatever overlap. It does at this point. It doesn't make sense in this day and age the way the NBA is played. Yeah. I wouldn't have worried about it, and I think they really put themselves in an interesting spot.
I agree.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to shit on Brandon Miller. Like, Brandon Miller is fine.
Yeah.
He had some moments. He is really skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that really shows up on the court
in a big way
with other NBA type of guys. Is like he is at a disadvantage there.
Totally. Like, the lack of strength through his lower half, particularly.
Yeah.
Like, he's okay and he's not strong in his upper body, but like, it's the lower half. Like, he doesn't have any strength through his legs and torso right now. And he can just get knocked off his line on drives. And honestly, like, the 3-point shot, like, he ends up short on a lot of his threes right now as well, which, coming off of probably 3 games in 6 days, something like that.
Normal NBA
schedule. Like, it might be a minute for Brandon. Brandon's going to be fine, but like, yes, they should have. I think they should have taken Scoot, but. This isn't just me reacting to.
This is what we've been saying.
One summer league game. This is me, like, being on this, on this road for 6 months now, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So
Thanks so much for listening to this special edition of the Athletic NBA Show live from Las Vegas. We'll have more content coming to you guys all week here in Vegas. So stay locked in to the Athletic.